Welcome back to Sandown. I've been joined by Patricia Pugh, who is on the Racehorse Owners Association board, but most importantly in many ways, she is the proud owner of Altior. We'll talk more about Altior in a moment, but I'm interested in what first sparked your interest in horse racing.
I used to go a lot with my grandmother, and we moved a lot around the country, so it meant I visited a lot of racecourses. And I thought it was quite normal, rather than go to the park, you went to a racetrack. So it meant I was very familiar with going racing, which I realised probably wasn't that usual when I became a student and then obviously started working, because I had professional parents, no connection at all with racing, nothing to do with breeding or farms or the betting industry. So I didn't realise it was quite a unique advantage to feel comfortable round a racetrack, because it's a big operation, and it's quite disorientating if you don't know where you're going for the first time, when you go first time when you're at 30 or something. So I think that was probably really what kick-started it.
Yes.
And then I thought it would be quite nice to try racehorse ownership.
Yeah, that's quite a big leap, don't you think, from just going and watching racing to decide to actually take part? What made you just make that leap?
I'm not sure really. I just thought it would be quite interesting to try it, having been an observer. I thought, just what is it actually like? And again, it was quite an unusual thing for a middle-aged Highgate mother to embark upon this venture in the early, about 2000. And I just saw Nicky Henderson on the television. I thought he seemed absolutely tip-top. So very kindly he got a horse for us. He must have been a bit surprised at getting a phone call from someone he had no idea who on earth it was. So we had our first horse in about 2001, Arctic Sky. He did very well, and then he got injured, and then work took over. So we had about a 12-year hiatus. And then in 2013, again had a little call to Rowie, Nicky Henderson's wonderful PA, and she remembered me and said, "Oh yes, you must come round. Nicky will have some horses for you." And one of the three horses was Altior in August 2013, and David Minton and Nicky had got him at the Goffs Land Rover sale in the June, and this was the August. He hadn't been sold at all, so we chose him amongst a group of others, so it was very lucky.
Very, very much so. Did you like him straight away when you saw him?
He looked a very nice horse, but then what do I? I mean, what do I know? When I went to the Goff sale with Minty this summer, and he told me he'd been going for 44 years, which rather puts it in perspective, just how much experience and expertise there is in doing it.
And one of the things, I suppose, for making the leap from being an observer to being a participant is that you get to go behind the scenes.
Yes.
That's one of the big things about, you can actually go to the yard and see your horses being trained.
Yes. No, that's absolutely right, and that's why the Racehorse Owners Association, we're really trying to gear up for all these behind-the-scenes stable tours, because that's the thing that really makes it interesting, and you understand the mechanics and just the sheer effort that goes into getting these horses on the track on the day, hopefully winning, but at least most importantly just getting round safely. So yes, it was a real eye-opener, the dedication and the effort that goes in these big operations.
Yes.
So yes, very interesting.
And these days, of course, it's much more accessible because there are so much more syndicates, so you don't actually have to have a lot of money in order to be able to get involved.
No, that's absolutely right. And also with all social media and all that side of it, you can see the gallops with the cameras on the helmets, and it just all opens up the industry, I think, in a way that probably wasn't possible 10 years ago.
Definitely. Now, Altior, you say it's very lucky. How tremendously lucky. I mean, what a fabulous horse. What was it like winning at the Cheltenham Festival?
Well, it was very nerve-wracking, obviously. It was very exciting. Everyone had a lot of confidence in him. The team behind him is just working at the top of their game at the moment. Everybody there is firing on all cylinders, and if they're confident, then it obviously helps. But you never know, do you, on the day, quite what will happen. He'd had some slightly odd races beforehand with a loose horse. And you always worry about things like that, don't you? But he did seem quite comfortable, and after the third last, you could start thinking, well, actually, this might.
How many times have you watched that race? It's outstanding the way he comes away from the field, isn't it?
It is. And I think it is probably quite unusual just to have that speed.
Yes.
Because he is just he's a big horse, but he's got the ability to to really start sprinting. So.
And give us an insight about Nicky has spoken. It was quite a decision to make. Were we going to stay hurdling and go for the champion hurdle, or were we going to go chasing? What was your view on it from the start?
I think I bought him thinking he would be going chasing. It never really occurred to me that he'd be so fast because it just didn't seem on the agenda. But then when he was, that rather put a different factor into the equation. But I think over the summer as he grew, I think that was really the determining factor.
Yes.
And also if he doesn't go chasing now, he will be a bit too old just to turn back. But there were long conversations where both Nicky and Nico were trying to explain to me why you can't do both, because I was saying, why can't you just pop over hurdles for a year and then switch? And they said it's the difference between a Usain Bolt 100 metres and a 1500 metre race. So it's just not possible. He would just have to be a freak of a horse to be able to do that. So all right then. I understand.
That's what you pay them for. They're the experts. And you must have been then therefore delighted with his chase debut. I know it was an inferior horse race against him, and really he wasn't involved pretty much from the word go, but the horse Altior seemed to jump with a fluency nonetheless, and he was quite clever when he made his one mistake.
Yes, I mean I think the other horse, to give him credit, I mean it was he gave him a run, but it was terrible weather, so I think there was a bit of worry about the ground for him, and you never know till he starts jumping on a course. It's a bit of a tight course, I think, at Kempton, so he was taking it very gently, I think, because he was so keen to get off. He could just have gone off like a rocket. But Noel Feely gave him a really nice ride, and we were all just so pleased that he seemed to enjoy it. He has this very odd action with his head down, and I'm always hoping he does actually look up occasionally to see where the fence is, because it's a very lolloping, easy stride. So we'll see what happens this afternoon. It's all very exciting.
It is tremendously exciting. Give us an insight of where you watch races. Do you watch them avidly? Do you have a special spot here at Sandown at all?
I think we'll probably go to the owners and trainers stand and watch him there. And the weather's much better than it was at Kempton as well. But it's a super track. He came and paraded here with the Champions Parade earlier in the year, and he really enjoyed that and expected to run and was very disappointed. So it's good that this afternoon he actually comes to Sandown and gets out on the racetrack.
Not going to be disappointed today. No. Well, it's lovely to speak to you and hear how you got into racehorse ownership, and it's fabulous you've got such an excellent horse. Best of luck this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank
indeed.
you.
Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you very much. Lovely.